Hey, I'm Rachel.
And I'm Amanda.
I'm Hannah.
And I'm Kathleen.
And this is the federal election edition of Beyond a Ballot, powered by DoorDash.
It is E-36 until Canadians head to the polls. I'm Hannah Thibodeau, and let's dig right into Monday, March 24th, the first full day of campaigning. Now, two parties, the Conservatives and the NDP, made promises. The Liberals didn't have an official announcement today, so let's start with our resident Conservative voice, Rachel Siegel. Rachel, tell us about Pierre Poilievre's day. He started in Brampton, Ontario.
He sure did. And he was riding off the heels of an enormous rally last night in the Metro Toronto area. I don't know if everybody saw it, but it felt electric, even just watching that room and his messaging and the number of people. I know there was a lot of people in line. They had to turn away because there wasn't even enough room in that audience. And then this morning, like you said, starting at a factory in Brampton, announcing a very exciting 15% tax cut. He's calling it the Bring It Home tax cut, talking about bringing home your paycheck and 15% to 12.75% in the lowest tax bracket. Now, why is that important? Because that means that every Canadian is going to be impacted by this because you pay a certain percentage on your first amount of income that you receive. So that in this case, up to $57,000. And that'll save what they're estimating to be $900 per person, $1,800 per family per year. And talking about just how expensive the Liberal government has been over the last 10 years, with taxes going up more than $10,000 per family in this country over the last decade. Pierre Poilievre today saying he wants to cut those taxes and put more money back in your pockets.
Can I just ask, before I get over to Kathleen Monk, who is giving us the insights on Jagmeet Singh, why Brampton, Ontario, and why is he going to the 905?
I think the 905 is always a really interesting place between the Liberals and the Conservatives in any federal race, but especially this one. They are neck and neck in the 905, the Liberals and the Tories. And so putting the emphasis on securing that 905 will be a big priority of the Tory campaign.
Okay, as I promised, let's head to Kathleen Monk because NDP leader Jagmeet Singh also made an announcement today. He announced using Crown land to build more homes, and he was in Montreal.
Yeah, so he started out the day in Montreal. It was a fiery announcement, actually, kind of explaining that how are Canadians ever going to be able to reach the $6 million new houses if we don't start using Crown land? But the unique nature of the NDP's announcement today is, unlike the two other parties, they want to use Crown land that's owned by the government of Canada, to build houses that are affordable and will be affordable now and into the future for Canadians. So the announcement that Jagmeet Singh did this morning was basically to see 100,000 new houses built that would be affordable for Canadians and actually attainable in terms of being able to pay for your rent. And that'd be from now into the future. Pierre Poilievre, when you talk about him using federal land, it's just a big old zero. Bupkis, zero, doesn't want to use federal land at all, wants to use tax credits and other things to get the corporate interest to build more houses. And Mark Carney does say he'll use around 20% of Canadian lands. But listen, we have something like 473 hectares of land across Canada that the government owns. So why not put some of that land to work so Canadians can have homes that are close to transit, close to urban centers, that is affordable. But I got to say, the thing that I love the most about Jagmeet's announcement today is after Montreal, they're hitting the road and they're going to Toronto, where they're going to have a big rally tonight. And that just proves Rachel's point that the GTA, the Toronto and Ontario will still be the big enchilada of this election. And that's where every party leader will be going to try to find votes.
Let's bring in Amanda Alvaro, Liberal strategist. Now, Liberal leader Mark Carney, Amanda, didn't make it to Newfoundland and Labrador in the leadership race. It was a weather issue. That's why he wasn't able to touch down then. But this is his first official stop in the campaign, and he makes it on the Rock. No announcement, though.
I love this stop. I love it for all the symbolic reasons that it represents. He was in Gander, Newfoundland. And for those who may not remember, Gander is the place where the planes were diverted in 9/11. So it's a special significance. I think it was a very symbolic place to truly kick off the campaign. It represents the special and unique relationship that Canadians have had with Americans in particular. So I think it signaled and signified that. I also think that it was really about a message of unity. You're right. It certainly wasn't a policy announcement. He had announced the middle class tax cut yesterday. He reiterated today on his campaign stop. But I thought this was much more symbolic. It was about being a unified Canada, being a good partner and ally to the US, really a positive message of hope and optimism. And I think it was really setting the stage for what we're going to see from the Carney campaign.
Okay, there are other parties in this race, of course, the Green Party and the Bloc Québécois. We'll bring them up during the podcast. Let me just mention in this podcast what Bloc leader Yves-François Blanchet did. He was outside the U.S. consulate in Quebec City to address the U.S. trade war. What he promised was he would introduce a private members bill, so government contracts go to Canadian and Quebec companies first. My 2 cents on this one is that he really is trying not to get squeezed out of this debate over who is the best leader to handle Donald Trump. So we'll talk about the Green Party in another podcast. But before we go, this is something we're going to try to do on a regular basis. Let's end with a campaign call out. So it can be anything, any party, a moment in any campaign that stood out for you. And Rachel, you're first.
Oh, I'm so excited to do my call out today. And I'm going to give that call out to Cruz Polyev, Pierre's son, who is just the cutest. And I went to sleep last night after watching the rally and thinking, oh my gosh, he's so adorable. But he's been doing such a great job out there on the campaign trail with his dad. You might have seen that there was a new ad that came out from the Polyev team with Cruz's blonde locks blowing in the wind, his curly little hair. And I think, strategically, it's such an amazing move for 2 reasons. One, to just show the family man that Pierre Poilievre is. But 2, when you think about the audience, who the Conservatives are trying to attract in this campaign, it is young families. And those young families have not been traditional Conservative voters over the last few campaigns. But as somebody with kids the same age as Pierre, this has really resonated with me. Aside from partisanship, the kids are just so cute. And I think they're doing a great job. So go Cruz.
We're going to go in the same order as we did in the first round. So Kathleen, campaign call out.
Well, my campaign call out is actually, first of all, to all the campaign staffers who have to plan these tours in a very, very short peried of time.
Yes.
Especially the folks that have to line up tour, right? They've got to get planes, trains, buses, and find great locations for fabulous visuals every day for the next 36 days. And I want to point out one visual that was really amazing today, and you'll see it on the nightly news over the next few days. And that's Jagmeet Singh, who was driving by Montreal and found this outdoor gym, if you can believe it, underneath a highway overpass.
Love it.
He pulled over in the middle of the campaign bus.
No.
And he starts punching on the punching bags, throwing tires, kind of like CrossFit style. And I just think
God.
First of all, you got to have some chutzpah to kind of do your workout in front of a bunch of a media gaggle. I don't want any of you to see me doing my workout on Wednesday mornings with my trainer, but never mind doing it outside. Anyhow, so cheers to the great visual on the campaign. It kind of reinforces a great message that he's a fighter, and big kudos to the tour teams from all parties who are doing a great job kind of in these first few days.
I love those moments. So Amanda Alvaro, what's yours?
Okay, so we're all showing our partisan colors today. That's fine. Promise it won't be every day, but mine's going to be for the Liberal Party because Rachel mentioned the electric energy in Toronto last night for Poilievre, and Kathleen mentioned how important Toronto is. And I want to mention the Leger poll that just came out that shows where Torontonians are. 50% would most likely vote for the Liberals if the election was called today. The Conservatives down to 30%, the NDP at a mere 14%. And then which party would be best for our city? Again, the Liberals hit that 50% mark. Now listen, Toronto is typical Liberal territory, but that's actually why the other parties want to be there.
Not partisan at all, Amanda. Not partisan at all. I think all of you did go there, and we are out of time. Can you believe it? Thank you for listening. Come back tomorrow as the four of us once again dive into the issues of election campaign 2025.
Thank you for listening. New episodes come out daily, and you can find Beyond a Ballot on Instagram and wherever you find your podcasts. A huge thank you to our title sponsor, DoorDash, and sponsors Equal Voice, Page, and Canada Powered by Women for making this election special possible. Speak to you tomorrow.